Hi everyone. I haven't been on YouTube very much. Facebook, I've been reading, writing, watching all your videos. I've had a cold, so my cold's getting better. So I have a nice book here. I think I showed it once. And I'd like to read to you a chapter, a paragraph. Joyful Simplicities for September. L'été c'est fini, as the French say, so ends summer on a high note. Make a really big deal out of the last cookout of the summer. Serve your favorite summer recipes with a final flourish. Linger in the twilight. Watch the sun go down and bid summer a fond adieu. On Labor Day weekend, take 15 minutes to write down all the things you wanted to do over the summer but never got around to. Put your list in an envelope. When you get your next year's calendar, paperclip the envelope to the first day of June and open it then. Try to block in some time on your calendar to make postponed pleasures a priority when summer returns. Stock up on your own school supplies. They're on sale this month. Get your own pads, notebooks, scissors, tape, and crayons. Get pencils imprinted with your name on them at Lillian Vernon or Miles Kimball. It's inexpensive and fun. Take a creative excursion to find exactly the kind of pen you prefer writing with. Once you've identified your brand, stock up on them at discount office supply stores. Make taffy apples. Enjoy fresh apple cider and pear nectar. Experiment with different types of popcorn. Pack away your swimsuit. Bring out your woolens. Do you have a favorite sweater that you absolutely adore? If not, why not? Celebrate the autumn equinox with a festive dinner of home-style cooking. Do this especially if you live alone and rarely cook a decent meal for yourself. Bring home a small pot of mums for your dining table. Draw hearth side and light the candles. Pour the wine or cider and enjoy the simple pleasures of comfort food. Have you ever tried an English fidget pie? A traditional harvest meal? It's composed of potatoes, onions, apples, and ham pieces in a vegetable stock, seasoned with a little brown sugar, salt, and pepper. Pour into a pastry shell, cover with the top crust, and bake as you would any filled pie. Gradually assemble your treats for the office. Observe the autumnal festival of Michaelmas on September 29th, which is the feast day of St. Michael the Archangel. This ancient English harvest festival dates back to the 6th century. Legend has it that on this day, the devil was driven out of heaven by St. Michael and landed in a patch of blackberry brambles. It's traditional to have blackberry treats, pies, tarts, or jam on scones for tea on this day. Start making your Christmas list this month so that you won't be frantic in December. If you have children, this is the time to have them decide on their Halloween costumes. Don't despair. They don't divide the children into two groups at school. Those wearing store-bought costumes and those wearing homemade ones. Order the costume from a catalog this month or online, www.costumeuniverse.com, or assemble all your supplies. Soon everything will be picked over, and there's nothing so disappointing for children or so frustrating for you as discovering you can't find exactly what you need. If you do construct homemade costumes, always keep in mind exactly whose costume it is you're making. Some of us get carried away and end up creating costumes designed more to impress other women than to please our children. Take a walk under the huntress moon. Look at farmers' markets for dried flowers to create your own bouquet. Prepared bouquets can be wonderful, but they're expensive. Creating your own bouquet on a September Sunday afternoon is a relaxing restorative that reminds you all winter long that beauty is simply abundant if you look for it. The fields are harvested and bare, and winter whistles through the square. October dresses in flame and gold, like a woman afraid of growing old. Anne Mary Lowler. Now Indian summer arrives, a change of season that's more a sense, memory than a date on the calendar. Finally, the heat is passing. Gradually, familiar surroundings don a rustic palette of jewel tones that dazzle with their beauty. Let October seduce you with her charms. Beguile us in the way you know, poet Robert Frost entreated the season of abundance. Release one leaf at the break of day. October 1. Recognizing burnout before you're charred. My candle burns at both ends. It will not last the night. Edna St. Vincent Millay. Burnt offerings, burned to a crisp, burned beyond recognition, burned alive, burned out. Setting the world on fire comes with risks. Unfortunately, we usually don't realize this until smoke gets in our eyes. Burnout is a condition caused by unbalance. Too much work or responsibility, too little time to do it, over too long a period. We've been cruising in the fast lane, but we've been running on fumes rather than on fuel. Often we think that burnout is something that just happens to other women, to workaholics and perfectionists. But careaholics are also at risk. Women who care deeply about their children, work, relationships, parents, siblings, friends, communities, issues. This sounds like every woman I know. Perhaps we would pay more attention to burnout if it were as dramatic as a heart attack, but a smoldering flame can be just as deadly as a flash fire. Sometimes burnout manifests itself as a sense of complete exhaustion at the end of a project that has taken months of challenging and intense work. Taking a week off to rest, then resuming work at a slower pace is usually enough to bring about a speedy recovery. But first-degree burnout, the soul snuffer, comes from living unbalanced for years, when what was supposed to be a temporary situation becomes a lifestyle. Burnout often begins with illness, anything from a bout of flu you can't shake to chronic fatigue syndrome, and is usually accompanied by depression. Sometimes burnout is hard to distinguish from a creative day spell, especially if you're good at denial, which most women are. It's burnout when you go to bed exhausted every night and wake up tired every morning, when no amount of sleep refreshes you. Month after month, weary month. It's burnout when everything becomes too much effort. Combing your hair, going out to dinner, visiting friends for the weekend, even going on vacation. It's burnout when you can't believe